You are listening to Greg and his friends talk sports. 10 to 20 minutes every day, Greg and his friends are talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. Every day on the Central Indiana Sports Report.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Central Indiana sports fans. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, we thank you so much. Welcome to my new show, Greg and his friends talk sports, 10 to 20 minutes every day, sometime between 12:01 a.m. and 6 p.m., talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. Coming up on today's show, the Pacers erase a large lead and beat the Bulls. We'll hear from our Pacers guy, Mike Rich, on another fun Pacers victory. Darian Devries assigned a four-star recruit from North Carolina, a shooter. Our IU guy, Grant Schaus, will share his thoughts on Devries' latest win. And Indiana Wesleyan swept a men's and women's basketball doubleheader over Taylor. Kevin Helfrich was there and has a report for us. And the Central Indiana Conference Girls Basketball Champion will be determined Thursday night in Alexandria. We will have details from that one on Friday's edition of Greg and his friends talk sports. Please join me again tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the day after that. Your Indiana Pacers came from 14 points down in the fourth quarter for their 12th win of the season, 113-110 over the Chicago Bulls on Wednesday. The Pacers trailed 101-87 with 7 minutes and 14 seconds left before Andrew Nembhard's layup started a 26-9 run the rest of the way. Pascal Siakam finished with 20 points, huge fourth quarter with 13. Nembhard finished with 18, Jarris Walker 16, Benedict Mathurin scored 15 off the bench, and Aaron Nesmith scored 14. Nembhard scored 8 of his 18 points in the fourth quarter and also had 9 assists and 6 rebounds for Indiana. Here's our Pacers guy, Mike Rich, with his reaction to the Pacers' second win in their last 3 games. Mike Rich, they are starting to become a team we recognize a little bit, aren't they?
They are, as long as they're playing the Chicago Bulls.
Well, 2 of the last 3 games, they played really, really well. Beating Oklahoma City, beating a good Bulls team that really needed a win. And
yes,
really nice comeback at the end. And the team that was there at the end of the game put on a really nice performance.
Yeah, they did. It was Siakam's quarter, Siakam's game again. I thought Nembhard had a really good game as well. I thought the rebound at the end by Furphy and the foul and the shots were big for him. I think that's the only 2 points he scored, but they were big.
Yeah, and of course, Nesmith, 14 points on 5 of 9 shooting, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and I don't know if they officially gave him a block shot there at the end of the game, but that he saved the game there at the end.
Absolutely did. But
it really looked like Kobe White was just going to go straight to the basket and score.
A surprising game for them to be down. I think it was 14 in the fourth quarter, and to make a comeback like that. I think there was like 7 minutes into the quarter, and they were down. I was like, here we go. We're going to struggle to get back in this one. And it just all came together. And like I said, I think Siakam, just a phenomenal fourth quarter.
Yeah. An all-star quarter for sure. He just completely took control.
He just proves every night why he should be an all-star.
Do you get a little bit of mixed emotion? The Pacers came into the game with the worst record in the NBA, and now they don't anymore. Any mixed emotions when they win these games?
A little bit, because they jump up on probably 4 spots.
That's right. It's like 4 teams bunched together there at the bottom. That's 12-1, Mike, and made the Pacers the worst record in the league, and now the Pacers go and win another one.
Right. I still think they have the most losses in the league. But that 12,
Tied up. No, the Pelicans have 37. The Pacers, Kings, and Wizards have 36.
Yeah, I thought somebody had 37. I didn't know who it was, but so yeah, they're fighting to get out of the bottom, and that trade deadline's looming and makes me a little nervous if they make themselves better at this point in the season. If they're going to be trading, they're trading that draft pick. And so I don't know if that's good or bad for the team we would make a trade with, but they have a lot of options. This team's got a lot of options, and there's a lot of good players on this team.
Yeah, speaking of which, Benedict Matherin, 15 points tonight, and an unrelated topic, the trade deadline 8 days away.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see if the Pacers do anything, and if they do, what it is. I don't have any kind of predictions on what they're going to do.
No. And, there's no point in even trying to predict Pritchard. No one's ever guessed one of his trades before, so all these mock trades, no one has any idea what's about to happen, and it may be nothing. It may be this summer they decide to do something.
For being where we're at record-wise, we're in a really good position, kind of going into the trade line, going into the off season. And a game like tonight, you're absolutely right. This Chicago team's a good Chicago team. They're hovering right around 500, and they're competitive. The Pacers seem to have
a bunch of guys who are really good basketball players.
All around, pretty good team, and the Pacers, for some reason, have their number.
Mike Rich, thank you so much as always, and go Pacers.
Go Pacers.
The Pacers' next 3 games are at home: Saturday against the Atlanta Hawks, Tuesday against Kevin Durant and the Rockets, and Wednesday against the Jazz. In one day, the Pacers went from the worst record in the NBA to the 4th worst. That's how close it is. Oh, well, I guess we'll take the wins, right? My visit to Tankathon has the Pacers dropping to the 7th overall pick, taking Keaton Wagler from Illinois. That would be a tragedy. That is, of course, if they keep their pick. We are 7 days away from the NBA trade deadline. The Pacers may or may not participate, and they may or may not trade their first-round draft pick. Probably not. Rumors are flying that Giannis Antetokounmpo will be traded by next Thursday at 3 p.m., the deadline. In Division I college basketball on Wednesday, number 25 St. John's won its 7th straight game and ended Butler's 3-game winning streak, 92-70 at Madison Square Garden. Purdue Fort Wayne lost 74-65 at home to move the Grizzlies within a game of Horizon leader Wright State. The Mastodons are now 13-9 overall, 7-4 in the conference. Drake came from behind to beat Evansville 82-78. Robert Morris beat IU Indy 74-58, and Belmont got past Valpo 78-77. In the Big Ten, Iowa beat USC 73-72 on 20 points from Bennett Sturts, including the game-winning free throws with 4.6 seconds left. And Wisconsin and UCLA moved into a 5th-place tie with Purdue at 7-3 in the conference, after the Badgers beat Minnesota 67-63 at home, and the Bruins won 73-57 at Oregon. And Darian Devries and the IU Hoosiers signed a 4-star recruit, Trevor Manhertz, Wednesday. Manhertz is a 6'8" small forward from Cary, North Carolina. He's the top-ranked player from North Carolina in the class of 2026, after declassifying from 2027. He recently had a game of 30 points on 8 of 12 from behind the three-point line, so he is a shooter. He joins Prince Alexander Moody and Von Carvalho in DeVries' first official freshman recruiting class. To some local NAIA basketball, Indiana Wesleyan had a big night, both their men and women avenging earlier losses to rival Taylor at Lucky Arena in Marion. The 5th-ranked Wildcat men beat Taylor 72-63 by outscoring the Trojans 43-32 in the second half, and the Wildcat women won 81-65 behind 24 points from Ayla Krieger. Here's Kevin Helfrich of the Action Sports Network with some more details. Battle of a couple good men's teams, a couple of good women's teams tonight in Marion. It was a really good night to be Indiana Wesleyan, though.
Yeah, it really was kind of payback for both the men's and women's teams. Taylor took advantage of the Wildcats back in November over at Don Odell Gymnasium in Upland, but tonight was the Wildcats night. The women got it started with a dominating performance, and then the men capped it off with a gritty defensive performance that really brought them back. Taylor got off to an outstanding start. They had a barrage of three-pointers in the opening 6 minutes. They jumped out to a 19-7 lead, and you thought, oh, Taylor's got IWU's number. This is a series where IWU had won at one point 26 straight men's games, but Taylor had won 2 of the last 3 and is really starting to turn things back around over there. But the Wildcats got a big performance tonight from their star player, Cademan Bontrager. He led all scores with 26 points, and he was the real reason why IWU was able to come back, particularly in the second half, and really put the Trojans away in this one.
Really good second half for the Wildcats offensively. I think they shot 57% from the field. Tell me about their performance offensively in the second half.
They were really efficient with the 2-point shooting. They weren't so efficient at 3-point shooting, but they were timely 3-pointers hit in the second half. Bontrager actually hit both of his threes. The only 2 that he made, I should say, in the second half. He went 2 for 5 from 3-point range, but he really dominated down low and was a big post presence. He scored 17 of those 26 points he had in that decisive second half. And then they got a good production from a freshman, Millen McCartney, out of Fishers. He hit a big 3 with 4:33 left in the ball game to put IWU up by double digits, their first double-digit lead of the game. Taylor actually was able to cut it back down to 4 and had the ball with 1.5 minutes to go, but a turnover led to a Bontrager bucket on the other end, and that pretty much sealed the Trojans' fate on this night. IWU would put it away with free throws and a big win. Now this moves IWU into a second-place tie with Taylor in the conference standings, both teams at 8-3, along with Bethel. This conference is all but over. I mean, Grace has been the dominant team. They've been the dominant team in this league now for the last several years, and they're sitting at 21-0 and perfect in conference play. And I don't see any team, catching them. They're just too good, and they're not going to lose 3 conference games. So it's playing for second place and seeding now for Crossroads League play, no doubt, and also playing to get into that NAIA postseason play, which IWU now is ranked 5th in the country. So this is a win over another ranked team. Taylor was ranked 24th in the latest poll, so this is a good win for Indiana Wesleyan.
And the Indiana Wesleyan women not having the kind of season they usually do, but big performance tonight.
Yeah, they really aren't. They lost a lot of key players off of last year's team. This is sort of, you don't think of rebuilding much at Indiana Wesleyan, but Ethan Whaley's team is kind of in that rebuilding mode. But this is a good win over a Taylor team that got them, early in the season. And I think, stepping stone. This isn't going to be maybe their year as far as maybe postseason play even goes, but I think they're building for the future, and I think they got some good players coming in next year, and it won't be long before that program is back where it has been. And No, it never is. And they competed for a national championship last year. I mean, they got to the national championship game and, lost that one, but had an outstanding season. And it's just Indiana Wesleyan athletics as a whole. Like, every team out there is ranked, it seems like, and, there's not a drop off from year to year. And, this men's team had battled through a lot of injuries this year. Luke Brown hasn't played all season long. They've had other key guys and another star, Kari Bright, who's out for the year. He only played 4 games. They've had other guys. Their big 7'2" guy is injured again. He was in a boot again tonight. And they've just had guys just hurt all year long. It's been a challenge, but they're somehow still 18-3, and they're looking to make their 20th straight season of at least 20 wins, and that's going to happen in the next few games. And Coach Tomico has just done an outstanding job with his basketball program.
Kevin Helfrich, thanks as always. Fun catching up with you.
Same here. Thanks, Greg.
Ball State's women got back on track with a 76-70 win over Central Michigan after picking up their first MAC loss on Saturday against Miami. The Cardinals are now 16-5 overall, 8-1 in the MAC. Just a couple of high school basketball games from Wednesday night in Central Indiana. 3A number 17 Crispus Attucks beat Indianapolis Washington 74-69 in overtime, and Chittard topped Covenant Christian 74-54. In girls basketball, Frankton beat Mississinawa 35-33 on Elena Rash's putback at the buzzer. She finished with 9 points and 14 rebounds in the Eagles' 5th straight win. Westfield beat Ben Davis 68-42. It was Carmel 47, 3A number 8 Cathedral 41. Garin Catholic beat Crispus Attucks 54-49, and Class A number 8 Rossville defeated Twin Lakes 63-51. A couple of local headlines. Colts offensive coordinator Jim Bob Cooter. I mean, the guy's been around a long time. I still can't believe his name's Jim Bob Cooter. Interviewed for the second time for the same position with the Philadelphia Eagles on Tuesday. Defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo is expected to return to the Colts after interviewing for the Bills job that was recently filled. Caitlin Clark will appear on NBC Sports NBA coverage, appearing on the pregame shows this Sunday for the Lakers in New York to face the Knicks, and on March 29th before the Knicks Thunder. In IndyCar, apparently Alex Palou owes McLaren $12 million. Romain Grosjean is close to signing with Dale Coyne, and IndyCar may be racing in the streets of Washington, D.C. as part of our country's 250-year celebration. More with Elijah Poe on the IndyCar Report on Thursday. Could be Friday before I get it out. And to some national headlines, Kimi Antonelli and George Russell were fastest in the first test of the new Formula One chassis in Barcelona on Thursday morning. And in the Australian Open, Elena Rybakina and top seed Aryna Sabalenka will play in the Australian women's final on Saturday after both won in straight sets on Thursday morning. Rybakina eliminated the final remaining American, Jessica Pegula. 10:30 tonight, number 1 Carlos Alcaraz will take on number 3 Alex Zverev in the first semifinal of the men's draw. Then at 3:30 in the morning, it'll be number 2 Jannik Sinner against number 4 Novak Djokovic. Djokovic is playing for his 38th Grand Slam final, which I hope I don't have to tell you is simply insane. Greatest tennis player of all time. Roger Federer is my favorite. Djokovic is the greatest. Round 1 of the Farmers Insurance Open in Torrey Pines in La Jolla, California is underway. And UFC 324, the first ever on Paramount Plus, was a success, averaging over 5 million listeners. They're going again this Saturday with UFC 325 in Sydney, Australia, free with the Paramount Plus app. Also, big junior welterweight championship fight in New York City on Saturday. Hanson Crafton talks all about it on this week's Fight Report, coming out later Thursday. Again, could be Friday before I can get it out. I'm a little bit behind this week.
Here's what's coming up on Thursday.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Trey Marr, for singing the intro to what's coming up on Thursday. At Alexandria, it'll be the 18-3 Tigers against 18-2 Oak Hill for the CIC Girls Basketball Championship. Grant Schaus and Kevin Helfrich will be on the call for the Action Sports Network. I hope to talk to one or both of them after a CIC champion is crowned. Also in the CIC on Thursday, 9-13 Elwood is at 10-12 Frankton, and 3-18 Madison Grant goes to 2-18 Wabash. On the boys' side Thursday, Class A number 10 Liberty Christian hosts Indianapolis Homeschool, which enters the game at 18-3. The Lions are 10-4 with 4 straight wins. And 4-7 Burris visits 2-13 Seton Catholic. Lots of big boys games on Friday. We will preview those for you on tomorrow's podcast. The 11-9 Purdue women host 13th ranked Michigan State at 6 on the Big Ten Network. 11-10 IU women host number 9 Michigan at 7 on the Peacock app. And 13-7 Notre Dame women are at 12-9 Cal at 10 on the ACC network. And finally, the professional women's volleyball team, the Indy Ignite, are back at home at the Fishers Event Center for 3 straight games, starting Thursday at 7 against the Atlanta Vibe. If you can't get there, the game can be seen on YouTube. The Ignite are currently at the top of the Major League Volleyball standings at 3-1, tied for the league's best record with the Dallas Pulse, and Atlanta is 2-3. And now you know everything I know about Central Indiana sports. Thanks so much to my guys Grant Schaus, Kevin Helfrich, and Mike Rich for joining me today, and to Trey Marr for helping out. Please do us a huge favor and share this podcast with a sports fan in your life. Help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. Oh, also, the Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.